Jen, I heard things are pretty difficult right now between you and my son. He's going to have to move out of state for work, and you both have been discussing that, right? And I heard that you're going to have to travel pretty far this time as well if you choose to go with him.
That's right, Lisa. And this time my husband will have to go really far out of state, and so we might have to move houses closer to his work, or else he'll have to travel by car 10 hours each weekend going back and forth. I'm sorry for not telling you about this sooner. We've just been so busy with things, and the kids are growing, and so time has really flown by here.
That's nothing to worry about now. You've always been talking about having to move at some point, right? It is a difficult problem for you guys to deal with.
It sure is. And right now, my husband and I are having trouble finding out what we want to do about this.
Oh, is that so?
My husband said that he'd like all of us to move out of state with him. He thinks that by doing that, we can all find a new house together and start a new life. And, I mean, we both have been living here for a very long time, so it would be nice to go someplace new. But I'd rather stay right here with the kids in the house we have now. We have been here so long that I have connections to a lot of people, and we're very used to this town and know it's a safe place to raise our kids. But when he heard that from me, he seemed to get a little shocked. I guess he thought I'd be on board with him.
Are there other reasons why you want to stay here?
Well, because I don't want to have to quit my current job to move. I have worked so hard to make it as far as I have in my career, and I don't want to throw all of it away. If I move out of state as well and have to find a new job, I'll have to start at square one again. And I don't want to do that anymore, because I've technically done that twice, and it's rough.
I see. Well, that's very unfortunate.
I know as his wife I should be there with him when he moves, but...
It's not like that though, Jen. These days, women are allowed to make their own choice regarding their career. And you are Jen, and you have a life that you'd like to live the way you like.
And my oldest son has just gotten into elementary school. I'd feel bad having to take him out of that school and move him to another one. He has made all sorts of friends there, and all the teachers are really special to him. I'd hate to take all of that away from him at such a young age. I'm sorry, but I think I'm going to have to make my husband move on his own.
My son becomes lonely pretty easily, so I'm sure he doesn't want to leave all of you here. But I understand how you feel about all of this as well. And he's an adult now, so he has to understand everyone can make their own choices, and that he can still come back to visit you guys on holidays or vice versa.
At first he was saying that if his work began to make him travel a bunch more, he'd go out and find a new one. But I think over the recent years, he's really grown into the company and isn't willing to leave them now, even though he'll have to leave the state this time.
I see. I'm sure in his eyes he's gotten used to it there and is really happy with the money he can make for everyone.
We have a larger family now, and it requires more money. And so even if he has to travel more, I'm sure he thinks the money is the most important part. And recently, things have been going up in price, and taxes going up as well. So I really don't blame him for keeping that job, but I guess I just wish he could have had a normal job where he didn't have to move around so much. But the money is key, so I don't blame him for sticking to it.
And soon you'll have to worry about all 3 of your kids going to school and having to pay for that. So really, it is much better to have him stay with his current company and bring in all the money now so that you guys can relax later.
And that's the same thing with me. If I have to leave my job here, we won't be making as much money as we do now. And even though our kids are young now, soon they'll be at that age where they cost a lot. So we can't afford to do anything that might decrease our income.
I'm sure that the economy and having to find a new job that gives you a good salary would be tough. I've known a little while now that my son has really begun to like his job. So him having to quit that job would never go over well with him.
So you understand our situation as well then? I'm sure he's not going to like moving on his own, but having his job that he loves and the raise for doing said move would help us out a lot.
I can understand that as well.
And so because of that, I think he'll have to be on his own for a bit. I'm sorry that we went and talked about all of this without you. I'm sure you wanted to weigh in a bit more in our talk so that you could give some options.
Well, you guys are the married couple, so I shouldn't have to be here when you guys make decisions. And since this is all for the sake of keeping the family happy and stable, I'm totally fine with your guys' choice. And my son is fine with all this as well, right?
I assume that he's fine with it. When I said I'd be staying here with the kids, he did seem a bit sad, but also glad to see that we'd still be focusing on the family while we're apart.
Just as long as he doesn't get too lonely on his own. But having to care for your kids and work a job is going to be tough on you, right? And your youngest is still only 2 years old, right? Even if one kid is in elementary school and the other 2 are in daycare, you're still going to have your hands full all of the time.
Yeah, and that's something I'd like to talk with you about. Do you think you'd be able to come over and help me every so often? Or actually, so that it's easier on you, can I have them come over to your place to be watched by you?
Of course I'll help. You can leave your babies with me whenever you need to.
Are you sure that's okay? I know that you might have things going on your own, so I don't want to get in the way of them.
I'm living on Social Security now, and most things I plan to do can be moved around, so I have all the time in the world to do what I want. So just ask me when you need me. I'll make sure to get accommodations ready for them before they come so that they're comfortable.
Thank you so much, Lisa. I knew because you were a mom yourself, you'd say you'd be alright with helping. Well then, when I come over at times, I'd love for you to take all of the kids for me. I'll have them over whenever I think I might be late from work, or they have the day off from school and daycare. And I'll make sure to call you first so that you're ready.
All right. I may be older now, but I'll do my best to entertain them all.
And I'll put even more work into my job now, so that we have the money to relax later.
Let's all work together to make sure the kids come out of this happy and healthy. I hope this will show my son that he has nothing to worry about while he's gone either. Jen, when are you coming by today to get your kids? It's almost 10 p.m. now, and the 2 youngest are sleeping already.
I'm sorry, I'm still in the office trying to finish a project. Do you think you can let them all stay at your house tonight?
But tomorrow, your oldest will be going back to elementary school, right? What should I do about him?
Ah, that's right. You can just give him some PB&J sandwiches to take with him, so you can make those up in the morning? And maybe a fruit or something to go along with the sandwiches.
But he'll have a field trip tomorrow, right? Will he be taking his backpack with him? I don't have anything like that for him here. I'd like to go to your house to grab one, but you never gave me or your kids a key yet to get into your place.
Right. I'd give one to my oldest, but he always loses the key, so I gave up on that.
So then we won't be able to go get him a bag from your place. I have a small leather bag, but I don't think it'd be good for him to bring that one on the trip.
Well, I'm going to be here all night at the office, and I don't think I'll be leaving until tomorrow. I don't think I'll see you all again until tomorrow morning. Do you think you can go to a Walmart or something and grab him a cheap bag?
Huh? Right now?
You know that all Walmarts are open 24/7, right?
I understand that, but I can't just leave the kids here and go out this late at night. Especially when 2 of them are sleeping. And having to wake those 2 up now would take even more time, and they'd both get grumpy.
You don't have any other backpacks in your house?
What my husband used years ago are still around somewhere, but those are like business backpacks for adults.
Well, that'll be fine for him. Use one of those, please. Another thing, do you think for all of next week you can hang on to the kids at your place?
For a whole week?
I will have to go on a week-long business trip.
Business trip? You've never had to go on one of those before though, right?
Well, recently the company has been growing and I need to go visit another branch. And if I were to turn them down about going on the business trip, I'd risk ever being able to move up in this company.
Jen, I can see that you're doing so well with focusing on your job and all, but don't you think you can start coming home a bit more often as well? Are you sure you're not working too much right now?
I can't just ask the company to slow down on all the work they give me. I'm just too busy at the moment.
But recently, you haven't even been home enough to see your kids for a few hours. And also, even though I'm on a pension and all now, I can't continue to spend as much as I am on everyone here. I have to pay for my own food as well, and for myself to go to the hospital for checkups.
But Lisa, you said that you'd help me whenever I asked, right? And you knew that I'd be busy from the start, right? I assumed you knew all of that and still planned to help me. So why are you getting on to me about my work now?
I said that I'd help you with raising them. But when it comes to helping you, I never meant doing everything to care for them. Maybe it would have just been best if you moved with your husband.
Do not say something like that after all we've been through. Also, does that mean you think I should quit my job now?
That's not what I'm implying. I just want you to stop making me care for the three all the time. I have had things to attend to myself, and for the past 3 months I've taken care of my grandkids without complaining to you.
You don't even work anymore, Lisa, so there can't be anything important that you have to attend to now. You can handle my kids every day for all I care.
I have a life of my own as well, Jen. I just thought that you having to take care of all of them on your own would be tough for you, and so that's why I wanted to lend you a hand. But what's going on now is way different than what I expected. If you keep forcing me to take them every day like this, then I don't think I'll be able to take care of them anymore.
What is your problem? It's because of me giving them to you that you get to spend all the time in the world with your little grandkids. If anything, you should be thanking me for all of this.
Why should I be the one thanking you?
You want to be with your grandkids, right? And so, I'm making sure you can see them all the time. So please thank me for that.
Don't you think you're being a bit irrational right now?
So are you saying you won't care for them for me? Well, if that's the case, then I won't be able to handle things anymore. I'd say you're bullying me.
Why would that be me bullying you?
You're trying to take away my precious time to get work done. And that right there is you harassing me. So that would make you an old bully.
That way of thinking is a bit messed up.
I'm working this job for my family.
But for a long time, you had never been working as much as you do now. For some reason, ever since my son had to leave the state for work, you have become more and more busy with your job. And your job requires you to be in your office at all times, right? So why would you need to be going on any business trips?
Shut up! Stop trying to talk about my job like you understand it at all. You haven't had a job in years, so how would you even know what today's world of working is like? Now stop talking to me about all of that.
Right. I understand. I won't say anything more.
I think you're beginning to get tired from being around my kids a lot, huh? I'll come by tomorrow to grab my kids and go home, so don't worry about it. My business trip is over, but it won't be until really late tonight that I get home, so can the kids stay over for one more night? I'll make sure to come get them tomorrow morning.
Don't worry about it, Jen. You don't have to come here anymore.
Huh? What do you mean by that? What is going to happen with my kids then?
I'll be taking care of my grandkids for a while longer now, so you don't have to come.
Are you saying that you'll be holding on to my kids for good and raising them?
That's not what this means. I'm saying that I'll be taking your custody over them away.
What? What are you saying, Lisa? Have you gone a bit mad after all that time with them?
You had always been forcing me to take care of them for you, and I can see that you no longer care to raise these kids. So I'll be taking your custody of them away.
Wait, what are you going on about now? I have no idea what this is.
I'm being serious right now. Ever since my son had to move out for work, you have been acting a lot more strange and doing things that don't make any sense to me. And I made sure to tell my son about what's been happening to you.
What about me is so strange?
You are always away from home now, and that's not right for you. And the fact that right after your husband left, you began to stay at work longer and have to go on business trips. That's pretty strange to anyone, you might ask. And after talking to my son, he agrees that something's up with you. We are beginning to grow skeptical of you.
You told my husband? Wait, why are you being skeptical of me? I told you that I'm busy with work, didn't I?
Well, my son, he asked one of his friends that lives here to do something. He wanted him to follow you and check up on what you were doing.
What? What the hell was he thinking?
He has a friend that works as a detective, Jen. And so, that guy made sure to look a bit deeper into you for us.
A bit deeper?
You haven't been working your job at all recently. You said that you had a lot of work to get done and would have to stay late and overnight, but every night you went out to play. Going to fancy restaurants, drinking until the sun rose, going to male strip clubs. You really have been enjoying yourself a lot, haven't you?
You're wrong. I've been working this whole time.
He was able to get pictures of you, though. And all that money you have been making has gone right back into your nightlife. And the money that your husband has been working so hard for has found its way into your pockets as well.
I will say that every once in a while I'd go out to have a little fun, but I wasn't going out enough to where you can blame me for anything.
The reason you didn't want to move out of state with your husband was because you have a man here that you wanted to be with.
You're wrong.
Your husband and I already know everything, Jen. Everything you hid from us has been exposed.
Everything?
You have one more secret, right? Something that you don't want anyone knowing about.
How much do you know about me? Stop holding it back from me and just say what you want to say.
I have someone that I need to talk with right now, so I'll text you later.
Don't stop right now.
One other thing. I'm with my son right now.
Huh? He came back already?
He had to come back to talk with a lawyer about some things. He has to make sure that he'll be the one to get all 3 kids.
Why would he be going to a lawyer right now, though?
You know why, Jen. You should know what we plan to do about that as well.
Lisa, stop trying to ignore me. I'll tell you everything, okay?
Tell me everything about what?
About the things you had been accusing me of. I had been going out with other men. And not just that, but we had all been doing a lot of sexual things as well.
Really? Then this is you confessing that you did in fact cheat on my son.
It is. Every night I'd go out with different men on the town, and the 2 of us would have fun together.
And so you saying that you were busy with work was all a lie?
Actually, I was only working about 3 days a week, and for only 6 hours each day. I quit my job as a full-time worker and went part-time there. And I was never trying to move up in the company.
And so what is the real reason for you asking my son to move out of the house alone?
So that I could go out with other men and have sex. And since he was making enough money and handing it to me, I thought that I could use it to have all the fun I wanted.
My gosh. And to think that I took you for a mother that actually cared about her husband and family enough to let him leave for a while for a better future. It's the whole reason I gave up my time to help you raise your kids. But I guess I've been stabbed in the back now.
I'm so sorry for all that I've done.
I'm sure that if you would have just took a few days to be home for your kids, I would have never known about you going out at night. You really did take advantage of your situation a little too much.
You just said a while ago that you had met with a lawyer, right? What did you guys talk about?
About divorce and about a settlement and about custody of the kids.
I came out about all of this. So do you think that you can make this settlement a little less expensive for me?
Oh, you telling us the truth has nothing to do with the settlement. Even if you didn't tell us the truth, we already knew everything.
But I don't have any money.
Don't apologize, Jen. We can't trust you as an adult or a mother, so my son will be the one paying for the kids, so you don't have to. But you will have to take full responsibility for all of this. We will make sure that you have enough pay for the settlement, and then we'll leave you alone forever.
So you guys are going to take away my rights to my kids?
You don't have the will to raise them, nor the money to. So you have no right to those 3. If you were to continue to be their mother, they may end up living a life in poverty.
Cannot say that about me.
Oh, but I can. It's the truth after all. Really, I want to make sure that you never have anything to do with us ever again. But I am an adult, and so I have to wait and see what my son decides.
And I have had to deal with a lot of things as well. After having to work and having to care for the kids, I have no time of my own. And when it comes to cheating, everyone has at least tried it once. I'm sure even you have had another man at you at one point while you were with your husband, right?
Why would I want another man when I had the love of my life? I'm not some kind of whore like you are. Don't you dare compare me to you ever again.
Whore?
You stabbed everyone in my family in the back, and I'll never forgive you for that. This time, it'll only be you growing lonely, while everyone else moves away. After that, my son and his wife got a divorce. It was tough for the both of them to go through with it, but my son could no longer look Jen in the face for what she'd done to him and the kids. Jen was calm about things in the end, and actually told me that I had every right to be upset with her, and I was very much indeed. After going through all of the evidence, we learned she spent upwards of around $10,000 in those 3 months, and had slept with at least 6 different guys. And what made things ultimately worse for my son to bear was that she had been with one of them for almost a year, meaning she had been with him while my son was still at home with her. Luckily, though, this was the end of him having to look at her, and so hopefully he'll be able to move on from what she'd done. To make sure that he was around his kids often, my son changed jobs to ones that didn't require him to move around. And so, right now, he's at home living with me and his 3 kids. He did end up reducing his salary a bit with the choice, but being here with me will help reduce the amount he spends. We split the cost of utilities here, and I pay for myself when it comes to food and such. And although I may be on a pension and everything now, I do have a bit in my savings, and I plan to use it for my son and grandkids so that they don't feel too stressed by what happened. And my son does his best to not make me take care of the kids all the time, and I'm sure that soon he'll grow into one of the best single fathers known to man. It may be a bit tough for a while having 3 young kids running around, but we will do our very best to make sure they all live happy lives. As for Jen, we were able to get a settlement from her. Although it wasn't much, but even that was enough to make her hurt for a long time. She didn't have anything left to afford her house, and after having to jump around a lot, I'm sure she's ended up somewhere we'll never have to hear about. If anything, she has all those men she slept with around still, and maybe she'll find one of them stupid enough to let her into their life. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
Olivia, it's already 9 p.m. Why are you still not at home? What's going on?
Sorry, I'll be stopping at my folks' house tonight, sweetie.
Again? You've been sleeping away from the house an awful lot lately.
Sure, I might not have been home much, but it's not like I'm up to anything crazy. It's just my folks' house, babe. Jeez. What's the problem with that? I already promised them I'd rustle them up something for breakfast for tomorrow, so I can hardly go canceling on them now. Imagine how upset they'd be. My folks have done so much for me. It's about time I repaid the favor, you know?
I guess it's important to show your mom and dad you appreciate them every now and again.
Right? Why don't you ever go see your folks, Harry?
They'd only treat me like I was in the way if I did.
I'm sure they wouldn't complain if you gave them a hand with the housework.
Forget my mom and dad's place. I have enough on my plate keeping on top of the housework at our house. Olivia, you went out without washing the dishes after last night's dinner, didn't you?
Oopsie. Did I? My bad, sweetie. I was planning on doing them, but it totally slipped my mind. Teehee. I'm so silly sometimes.
I do housework myself too, and it's not like I'm some Stone Age knuckle dragger who thinks only women should do housework, so not angry or anything. But haven't you been slacking off a little too much lately? I don't ask you to do much, but it feels like you haven't been helping out at all.
Really? I did vacuum the corner of the living room the other day. Plus, I even did the laundry yesterday.
You vacuumed the other day. That was 2 months ago. And if you did the laundry yesterday, how come your clothes are scattered all over the floor in the living room? You haven't been walking Spike at all either. His kennel and dog bowl are filthy. I feel like I'm doing literally everything by myself here.
That's hardly my fault. That dog always did like you more than me.
What does that have to do with anything? He was your dog in the first place. Don't get me wrong, I love animals, so it's not like I'm complaining. But I do wish you'd give him a little more attention instead of leaving everything to me.
Stop being so horrible. It's so not fair how I had him for 2 years before we even met. But the moment you walk into our lives, you suddenly become his favorite person in the whole world, and I never get a look in. I didn't think dogs played favorites. I feel betrayed.
He's not stupid. He probably noticed you barely pay him any attention anymore. So, it's not hard to believe he wouldn't be that enthusiastic about you, given how you are with him now. You act like he doesn't exist.
No, it's more likely 'cause you're a guy like him. I knew I should have bought a cat instead. I bet a cat wouldn't suddenly switch sides on me like this.
I think it's best you don't buy any more pets, Olivia. It's not fair on the animal if you're going to get bored after 5 minutes and stop paying attention to him.
Ugh, there's no need to talk to me like that. I'd look after Spike if he started being nice to me.
I don't think that's how having a pet works.
Oopsie, it's almost bath time. My mom will get mad with me if I stop her using the tub for too long.
Alright, got it. Send your mom and dad my regards. Tell them I'm sorry I haven't shown my face around there in a while.
It's fine, sweetie. My folks are super grateful for you. They're always praising you for being such a nice guy.
I'm pleased to hear that. Oh yeah, that reminds me. How about you and me both head over to your folks' place on my next day off? I was thinking it'd be nice if we took them out for dinner or something.
Don't be silly, sweetie. We don't have to do that. Besides, I already have a dinner date planned with one of my girlfriends.
I see. Alright. Well, I guess I'll make plans with my buddies myself then.
You do that, sweetie. It's your day off. Go ahead and enjoy it however you like. Alright, I'll be home tomorrow. See ya.
Got it. Be careful on the way home. Good night. Olivia, there's something I need to talk to you about. What time will you be getting home tonight?
Oopsie. Sorry, sweetie. I'll be stopping at my folks' place again tonight.
No, Olivia. And not this time. This is important. I want you to come home.
Huh? Harry, it takes over an hour to get home from my mom and dad's house. You cannot be serious right now.
I'm dead serious.
Can't we do it over message instead?
I need to talk to you in person. Plus, there's something I want to show you.
Show me? Like what?
No, like I just said. You know what? Forget it. Let's do this. Right here. Right now.
Why not just do that from the get-go? Ugh.
You're having an affair, aren't you?
Excuse me?
You've been acting strange for months now. You stay over at your folks' place more than you do here with me. Been neglecting your housework duties too.
Look, sweetie, about the housework, I'm sorry. Really, I am. It's just that I enjoy spending time with my folks. We're really close. Surely that's not a crime. I'm a stay-at-home housewife for crying out loud. I'd barely leave the house at all if not for being able to go see my mom and dad. So sometimes I need a refresher. So what? Is that so wrong?
Remember that fishing trip I went on with my buddy last month when I had those 3 days off in a row?
Yes?
We caught so many fish that we needed to load some off, so we ended up stopping by your folks' place on the way back, because I thought your mom could use them for her cooking. Pretty close by, so I figured it would be a win-win for everyone.
No way!
Yes way. Guess what? And they told me I should stop by with you sometime. 'Cause, and I quote, Olivia hasn't shown her face around here in months. We really miss her.
Oh, well, you see, actually, sweetie, the thing is I lied about staying over at my folks' place. I was actually staying with my friend all along.
You dude?
No, she's a girl. It's my friend Haley.
Drop the act. I already looked into it all. I'm saying all this right now because I have proof.
Proof?
Yeah, proof of you and your lover going out on romantic day trips. Proof of you constantly hanging around at his house. Proof of... You know what? Let's not even go there. The bottom line, Olivia, is that I know. So how about you drop the excuses and be straight with me for a change? I want a divorce.
No. Wait a second. Divorce? Are you serious?
Serious as it gets. I can't carry on living with someone who cheated on me. I'm not saying this out of some hasty emotional reaction. This is what I decided on after finding out about the affair. And thinking long and hard about what I want out of life and what I'm willing to tolerate.
I see.
Got it.
But just remember, you're the one who's initiating the divorce, Harry, not me. I hope you don't end up regretting it.
Don't worry, I definitely won't. As for the divorce proceedings, everything will be done through my lawyer.
Does that include compensation?
Yep.
Fine, I'll be in touch with my lawyer too then.
Do as you please.
Listen, sweetie, I'm sorry. I would have never guessed in a million years I'd end up catching feelings for anyone other than you. But to be totally honest, I can't lie about how I feel.
Save it. I ain't interested.
Well, just remember one thing. You're the one who caused this by forcing me to be a stay-at-home housewife.
Excuse me?
Think about it. I had nothing but free time on my hands. It was seriously boring.
The hell are you talking about? You're the one who said you wanted to focus on the household after we got married. I didn't force you to do jack.
But you were always better at housework than me. I didn't see any point in me being around when you had everything on lockdown.
What the heck? I was doing that to help. You know what? Forget it. It's all meaningless. 'Cause we're done.
Let's be adults about this, shall we? Divorce isn't about who was in the wrong. But I think you'd be better off not going out of your day to do everything by yourself if you ever get married again. 'Cause you'll give your partner the wrong idea just like you did me.
What are we gonna do about Spike? Probably best I take him, right?
Obviously, I don't want a dog who hates me. Keep the furry little asshole. I'll be heading over to the house to pack up my stuff soon. I'll hand over the key to my lawyer when I'm done.
I'm done handing in the divorce papers.
Got it. Thanks for everything, sweetie. Now hurry up and forget me as soon as possible so you can get to work on building your new life and finding happiness again.
I don't need you to tell me that.
Oh, by the way, when will you be paying me my $350,000 in compensation?
Huh? What are you talking about? We already got done with the compensation stuff. Already got everything I wanted out of you. And I got no intention of paying a cent of it back.
Huh? I didn't pay you anything? What do you mean you got what you wanted out of me?
No, what do you mean? You're not making any sense, woman. I got the compensation from the affair from the distribution of assets. Our lawyers squared it all up for us. This is already done and dusted. And please, $350K? Are you pulling figures out of your ass, or you just lost your mind?
That's how much compensation you owe me.
Me? Owe you compensation? How do you figure that one out? On what planet could I possibly owe you compensation after you cheated on me?
What?
Listen, Olivia. The one who cheats pays the compensation. That's how divorces work.
You mean the money got taken from my assets?
Yeah, exactly. So this is over.
But how am I supposed to get by now? I needed that money. You divorced me when I was a stay-at-home wife for crying out loud. I didn't make a single cent the whole time we were together. Surely that means you owe me compensation.
Olivia, seriously, what are you actually talking about here? I genuinely have no idea what you're getting at. I have no obligation to pay you a single cent in compensation.
So how am I supposed to live now? I don't have a job.
So get one and start making money. It ain't my problem. Or if the idea of working is so unconscionable, get Loverboy to feed, house, and clothe you.
What?
No, it should be me who's surprised. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I think this might have been what my lawyer was talking about the other day. Hang on a sec. Let me send you a message. Mr. Styles, your ex-wife keeps sending me these odd messages asking when she'll be receiving her compensation from you.
Well, duh. Of course I asked him. And when I did, he told me I was the one who'd be paying.
Right. Which you then agreed to and signed the divorce agreement, did you not?
Sure, I might have signed it, but I didn't understand what I was agreeing to. Surely you didn't actually expect me to read all that crap. It was like 3 pages long. I couldn't be doing with the hassle, and besides, even if I did have any objections, your lawyer's such a pig-headed jerk. He wouldn't have listened if I said anything anyway. But I'm entitled to compensation, aren't I? Because it was you who wanted this divorce in the first place.
I feel like I'm talking to a brick wall here. Hold on a sec. Can we just be clear that you understand that you're the one who pays me compensation in this situation?
I did hear that you have to pay compensation when you get a divorce, but I had no idea they'd subtract it from my assets without my permission.
That's only because you weren't listening when everything was explained. Believe me, it was explained several times, in fact. So, did you mishear our lawyers or something? Is that why you thought you'd be the one getting compensation?
No, I thought the one who kicked off the divorce was the one who paid. If you didn't, I'd end up broken homeless in a heartbeat. How can that be legal? I heard that when my aunt got divorced, she was something like 350,000 K in compensation from her husband. So I figured that's what I deserved too.
There are so many holes in what you're saying, I don't even know where to start. Everything finally makes sense now, though. So this is why you've been so cocky and arrogant since the divorce. You thought you'd be coming into a lump sum, didn't you? You really did make the mother of all misunderstandings.
What? Misunderstanding? What are you talking about?
I can't be bothered to explain. I doubt you'd understand. Anyway, why not try getting Loverboy to tell you? I filed for compensation against him, too. Something tells me he probably understands his situation a lot more than you do yours. So, he could probably teach you a thing or two about the gravity of the mess you're in.
Wait, Harry, you can't not pay me any compensation. That's fraud. I'll have you arrested. You will pay me what's mine. You're not getting away with this. Harry, what time will you be coming home?
Huh?
I'm waiting for you outside the house. I handed the keys back, so I can't get inside anymore.
Yeah, obviously. What are you talking about? You do know we're divorced now.
I'm so sorry.
What are you apologizing for?
I was in the wrong. I'm sorry I let that jerk deceive me.
Excuse me? Hold on a sec. Did Loverboy dump you?
No, I dumped him.
I see.
I had no choice. He told me we couldn't be together anymore. Not only that, but he called me an idiot. How could he do that after telling me he loved me more than anything? Isn't that horrible?
Wait, doesn't that mean he dumped you? Nah, forget it. Oh yeah, do you understand why the whole compensation thing went down the way it did? You do get that you won't be getting any compensation from me, don't you? Has the penny dropped?
Yes, Jeff explained everything. That's when he called me an idiot. Then we started fighting, and before I knew it, well, you know what happened.
I see.
Harry, I really am sorry. I've been thinking about you all day, about how lovely, kind, and caring you are. When I realized how special you really were to me, I just couldn't contain myself anymore. I just had to come back to the house, our house, the place where we made so many amazing memories together.
You're a pain in the ass. Go home.
Ugh, how could you say that? I want to meet you in person and apologize properly.
I don't want to see you again for the rest of my life.
Well, I want to see you again. I want to see you and I want us to talk.
That's funny. You told me to speak to you over message when I desperately wanted to talk to you in person. Remember?
I'm sorry. I really am sorry, Harry. Like, super sorry.
All right. So you won't have any more affairs?
Never again, I swear. I'll be the most loyal wife there ever was. I'll serve your every need and desire. So please, can't we give things one more shot? Things were going well between us, weren't they? We didn't have any major fights and we were happy, weren't we?
Sure, until you cheated on me.
But like I said, I won't do that again. Not ever. I swear on my life I'll never do anything to betray you ever again.
Do you really think I can trust anything you say now? You tried blaming me for the affair, for Christ's sake. Not only that, but you actually had the gall to think I was going to be the one paying you compensation when you were the one who betrayed me. I'm not exaggerating when I say this. That was the most moronic thing I'd ever heard in my life. I was grateful from the bottom of my heart that I had the good sense to break things off with you when you came at me with that crap.
Please, baby. Like I said, that was all a misunderstanding. I thought my situation was the same as my aunt's. That's all. But it turns out she divorced after being married for 40 years when her husband retired, and there was no affair involved.
Did you really think I wasn't going to see through the fact we're only having this conversation now because Loverboy jacked you in? You have no money, nowhere to go. I'm losing brain cells just by talking to you. This discussion is over. I don't want anything else to do with you for as long as I live. I mean it.
In that case, I want Spike back. I'm the one who bought him. He was mine before we met. He's part of my assets and he belongs to me.
You're the one who said you didn't want him. You obviously have no interest in looking after him.
Bingo, you're damn right. I have no intention of caring for the little shit.
What?
If you're so opposed to the idea of making me take custody of him, then I suggest you pay up. I'll settle for $7,000. So how about you pay me what's mine and we call it a good for a day? If you don't pay up, I'll have you back in court.
Just when I thought you couldn't sink any lower. You really are scum. I ain't paying you jack. You signed the divorce agreement that declared me as Spike's legal owner.
What? It said that?
I can't believe you're using my dog to threaten me because things didn't work out with the guy you threw away our marriage for. You really are the most despicable excuse of a human being I've ever had the misfortune of existing on the same planet with. Every word you utter only strengthens my resolve that I made the best decision of my life when I divorced you.
No, Harry, please, just hold on a second. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean it one bit. I don't know what came over me. I just saw red.
Too little too late.
I'm waiting for you, sweetie. I'll always be waiting for you. I'll wait outside our house for months if that's what it takes. Please, I'm begging you. Won't you just hear me out? 5 minutes. 5 minutes is all I ask for.
You're free to wait out there for as long as you like. I don't live there anymore. But if you're going to hang around, just make sure you don't inconvenience any of the neighbors.
What? You moved house?
Yep.
To where? I seriously don't have anywhere to go.
Not my problem. We're divorced. You're on your own now. Go wherever you want.
I can't do this, Harry. I can't live on my own. Harry, won't you please help me? Please, please.
Why don't you find a job and look for someone who will let you camp out on their sofa? There are tons of ads for that sort of thing up online. You're bored of being a housewife anyway, right? Besides, me and you being together now would be meaningless. It's time for you to hurry up and forget me so you can get to work on building your new life and finding happiness again. After that, Olivia's situation plunged further into chaos, as she continued to be tossed around the pinball machine of life, from hotel to net cafe, and from net cafe to park bench. Eventually, being completely broke and without a hope in hell of finding anyone else to put her up, she went back to her parents' house, a flaccid, dejected mess. However, unfortunately for her, her mom and dad told her that they never wanted to see her again, and no sooner had she arrived than she was sent back on her way. What's more, back when I got in touch with her lover about the compensation, he told me all about how my ex-wife had shown up at his house causing a huge fuss, eventually leaving him no choice but to call 911, never taken away in the back of a cop car. Naturally, none of this is my problem. He deserved everything he got for having an affair with a married woman in the first place. But I do hope no other unfortunate souls have to put up with her crap from here on out. I hope she carries on clinging to her ex-lover desperately and leaves the rest of us respectable folk alone. Something tells me neither of them will be experiencing anything resembling happiness anytime soon. As for me, I sold the house and moved into a fancy new apartment with my beloved dog Spike as soon as possible. And let me tell you, we're enjoying the heck out of our peaceful new life. They say every cloud is a silver lining, and for me, I'm super grateful that I was able to meet Spike. Now, I'm the biggest dog lover there is. It's thanks to him that I was able to hold out back when I first started thinking about divorce, and then finally when I bit the bullet and did what I had to do. I know he's just a dog, and This might sound crazy, but he really was there for me throughout the whole thing. And I can barely imagine what kind of emotional wreck I might have been coming out of the other end of it all if I'd have been totally on my own. Who knows? Maybe I wouldn't even have the courage to divorce Olivia in the first place. It might be nice if I could meet someone else someday, but after what I just went through, I sure as heck ain't in no rush. For the time being, I'm just gonna focus on taking it easy and looking after my Spike. Attaboy.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.